everybody. Purpose of this video is to give you an overview of the upcoming group project that you have. Group assignment is probably a better way to put it. And it's revolving around a movie, a documentary on the company Enron. Most students find this absolutely fascinating and just amazing story about the fall from greatness of one of the largest corporations in the world. So everything that you need for the project is listed under this tab here in content called Enron Group Project Documents. So that's where everything is for it. I'm going to start with the idea that you're going to do this is a group project. You're going to interact with fellow students in a group. The way to find out which group you're in is to look under the tab called Groups. I'll click on that real quick. And you'll be in one of these tabs. Inside the groups, then you'll have the names of your fellow group members plus their emails. Reach out immediately as soon as you see which group you're in, and reach out to those fellow group members. You might wonder why we do a group project in this type of a class, and it's pretty simple. There's two things. One is as you watch the film, you're going to answer some questions, and it's a good thing to share your ideas with other people, and that's what would be your group members, to kind of determine what's the correct answer for the questions that you're going to get asked. And the second thing is, and this is a more practical way of looking at it, is there's very few organizations today that don't manage their work through groups, and even in an online format. So if people are working remotely, groups are even more important to keep everything going in the right direction. So there's a very important skill to develop and have. So that's why I make it part of this class. I think it's that important. Okay, so again, you can find your content. Under content, you're going to find the Enron documents. So this all revolves around watching a documentary, which is called Smartest Guys in the Room. There's a link here for it, which is a free online version of it to watch. You can also get it from the library. It's listed under almost all the subscription services. So it's a very, very well made documentary. So you'll watch that. But before you do, you want to read up a little bit about it. I'll go over, before this is over, I'm going to go over some background information on Enron. Everything that you need to know about what you need to do is under the document called Enron Case Instructions. So please read through that before you even reach out to your group members. Very early on, you want to organize as a group. You will elect, if you will, or somebody will volunteer to be the group leader. Somebody will volunteer to be the group scribe, and somebody else can do the research. And you can share those responsibilities equally. The scribe part of it is not that difficult because most of this is filling out a form, and that's what the scribe document is here. It's pretty easy to do, to actually do the work of the scribe. So it breaks down into three components. One is you're going to watch a movie and get together as a group and discuss some of the questions. You're going to come up with a group write-up, which will be submitted under assignments, the assignments tab here. Hopefully you can see it under Enron write-up. So that's the first part of it. The second part of it is you're going to post that same write-up in a discussion, which is where you'll submit that here. And then the third part of it is you're going to evaluate your teammates, your group mates. I'm just going to tell you, inevitably, there's going to be one or two people out there that are, I don't know if they've given up on the class, don't care, whatever, but they don't engage with the group. For you who are trying to do well and want to get the best grade in the class, don't wait for them. You give them an opportunity to respond. You give them an opportunity to participate. Don't wait till the last. They can't come in at the last minute. You're more than welcome to claim in the peer evaluation that they really didn't contribute. The peer evaluations go a long way towards determining what your group grade is. The individual grade is going to be on the group project, and it can vary by group member. There's people that step up and do a really great job, and that shows up in the peer evaluations, and there's people that just simply don't show. There are no shows in the thing. they're on their way to not the greatest grade. Remember that this project is worth 10 points or a whole letter grade in the class. So my advice to the people who are actually going at it, proceed without that group member. Secondarily, if you are that group member that's doing that, there's no real makeups here or anything like that. So you have to participate in your group to get the grade. Okay, so there's no workarounds on this thing. All right, so that's the third part of it, and then you're going to respond to one of your groups, one of the other groups write-up that is in the discussion post here. You're going to respond to that by the end of the week. Okay, so that's the breakdown of what really goes on with it. I'll give you just a little background information on this. If you have any questions at any point, certainly don't hesitate to reach out to me, okay? But let's talk about what Enron's all about. Oops, sorry. So this is a documentary. It's mainly done through a lot of interviewing. There's very little in the way of reenactments in there. These are real people that did real things, and just quite amazingly, it's a real story. There's a fellow by the name of Jeffrey Skilling who is claimed he acted on the benefit of the shareholders, and then listened through the documentary and statements and concerns that either support that or don't. Okay, did he really do it or not? You want to listen very closely for an explanation of what mark-to-market accounting is. You might want to go off and actually take a look at that. There's quite a bit written about it, and you can Google it and find out more information about that. And then there's going to be a particular incident that happened where there was a Nigerian energy barge, and how that was handled from a financial standpoint, and think of whether it constitutes a sale or a loan. Okay, so those are things to look for as you watch through the movie. Okay, the book was written in 2003. The documentary was made in 2005. It was before the trial of two of the key executives at Enron. Ken Lay was kind of the founder of it, and it was interesting what happened with him. He never actually made it to trial. He actually passed away in prison. So Jeffrey Skilling is also had the same thing, but he actually was released from prison already. So just keep that in mind as you look through it. There's a fellow by the name of Lou Long Pai who left Enron at a very fortuitous time before all the things went south, and he actually did very well for himself. And Andy Fastow was the kind of the chief financial guy, and it's kind of he has an interesting background as well. So, bottom line is that Enron is a very important story from the standpoint of finance, because of how the management of the firm represented the firm, not just from an accounting standpoint, but from a financial standpoint, and what they did to try to drive basically the value of the stock up more and more. So take a good look at it. It's a fascinating story, just as a byproduct of it, or an outcome of it, I should say. That one of the grand old CPA firms, international in scope, they're large. Was by the name of Arthur Andersen, was based here in Chicago. They literally did not survive the Enron scandal. So, and I knew lots and lots of people who worked for them and were out of work, basically shortly after all this came down. So, quite unfortunate, but there were a lot of not positive outcomes from this whole thing, and that'll become very clear when you watch the film. So, anyway, engage, organize, get yourself put together. This is not a difficult project. It won't take that long. The longest thing, honestly, you probably won't spend much more time doing the project than watching the movie. Get involved with it. It's another way to learn about finance and show that show how it actually operates in the world. Okay, so if you have any questions about it, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and wish you the very best of luck.